the child she thought she lost. The war ended, but the silence it left behind screamed louder than any weapon ever fired. In the ruins of the T-Vala system, among shattered moons and scorched planets, General Ulreen wandered barefoot across what was once a capital city. Her robes were tattered, her claws broken. The golden markings on her face, symbols of motherhood among the Drakari, had dulled to ash gray. Her child was gone. They told her he died in the last orbital blast, just before the ceasefire. The soldiers found only scraps of a Drakari escape cradle and scorched bone. They gave her a crystalline with fragments. She held it every night and wept into the stars, and hated humans. Meanwhile, across the stars, on a backwater human colony called Thorn's Reach, a small Drakari boy played in a field of bluegrass. His skin was marked by fire, one eye cloudy from a plasma flash. But he was alive. He called himself Talon now. But his true name was lost to time and trauma. The man who found him, Commander John Reyes, a retired human field medic, never meant to keep secrets. But after pulling the boy's pod from a burning Drakari wreck and watching the fear in his trembling claws, he made a choice. He didn't return him to the military. He didn't report the find. He brought the boy home because he remembered what war did to families, and he remembered how many innocent children he had zipped into body bags. So he raised him, not as a weapon, not as a token of peace, but as a son. Years passed. Talon grew fast, strong, curious, too smart for his age. Reyes tried to tell him the truth a dozen times, but each time the boy asked, "Am I yours?" "Yes," Reyes would answer, "in every way that matters." And the rest could wait. But the galaxy wasn't finished. In the 10th year of the armistice, a Drakari envoy came to Thorn's Reach. Their mission, reconciliation, cultural exchange, formal mourning ceremonies. It was the first time Drakari had visited since the war ended. Among the delegation was Ulreen. She hadn't stopped searching. Not truly. Something in her refused to accept the unknown. A mother's instinct. She called it, or madness. When her transport landed, she collapsed to her knees, overcome by a pulse, a mental echo, a heartbeat. Drakari mothers and children shared a psychic tether when bonded in infancy, and hers had just pulsed for the first time in 10 years. Her child was alive. Reyes knew the moment he saw her. She was taller than he expected, regal, cold, powerful, until her gaze passed across the field where the colony children played. Her breath caught. She dropped the ceremonial stone she carried, because she saw him. Talon froze when he saw her. His claws twitched. His eyes widened. Something in him remembered. Soft scales, lullabies in alien tongue, the warmth of a coiled tail around a nest. He ran. She chased. Reyes followed. They found him hiding in the shed, trembling. Ulreen approached slowly. She crouched beside him, speaking softly in Drakari, her hands trembling. A lullaby, one she had sung every night a decade ago. Talon's claws slowly reached out, touched her face, his eye filled with tears, and hers overflowed. That night, the truth came out. Reyes expected anger, vengeance, accusation, but Ulreen said nothing at first, only held her child close, wrapping her massive tail around him protectively as if the stars themselves could hurt him. Later, when they spoke privately, she said, "You saved him, when others would have let him die." Reyes answered, "He saved me, too." Ulreen did not demand the boy back. She asked instead. Talon chose. And he didn't choose between them. He chose both, because love wasn't owned, it was shared. And in a galaxy once torn apart by hatred, two enemies stood side by side, not as soldiers, but as parents. A human, an alien, a child once lost, and finally found.